Today is my last day at work and I wanted to film this just so I can document this milestone for myself. The truth is, I'm feeling really scared and insecure. For a while, I had been planning and visualizing this day, but now that the day is here, I'm really questioning if I'm actually ready for this. So I recently decided to take a break from my professional day job. In the last 4 to 5 years, my husband and I have been working towards retiring early. But I don't want to call this an early retirement. I prefer to see this as a leave of absence because there's still a possibility of me returning to the profession. So I've been working as a dentist for nearly 13 years and I really enjoy certain parts of the job, such as the people interactions and the technical aspects. However, the job is demanding, both physically and emotionally. Sometimes when I come across colleagues who have worked this job for nearly 40 years, I really admire their tenacity. This job certainly gave me a lot of fulfillment, but it also took a lot out of me. In my last practice, we worked from 8:30 to 5 with only half an hour for lunch. Sometimes we had no lunch. For example, if we had an emergency patient, if there was a complication, if the injection took longer to work, or if the equipment decided to play up. We never allocated time for a coffee break in between, and I would say it's quite a common practice to work back to back in this industry. Outside those very busy hours, there are also other very important duties like doing referrals, writing letters, speaking with the technicians, looking at scans, and so on. My colleague, for example, spends his evenings and weekends writing letters and doing clinical notes, so sometimes the job can really start to seep into your personal life. I've tried to put in measures just so I didn't overextend myself, but I think it's just the nature of the job that you always put your patients first. It was taking a toll on my body and my well-being. So about 4 to 5 years ago, I started questioning myself. Do I want to keep going like this for the next few decades? And the answer is no. And so we started being very intentional about planning for our future. Financially, we've been working really hard to prepare for this. We've been investing quite heavily for a while. So now we have a portfolio that can sustain us for a while. We also keep a reserve of emergency cash for any unexpected spendings. I feel like I've always been quite open about the importance of financial independence, so this might not come as a surprise. At the moment, my husband is still working because he gets on really well with his colleagues and the work schedule fits him nicely. So for now, we can just leave our portfolio to grow, which is great, seeing we are in the middle of a recession right now. Some people are curious about how much I make here on YouTube. Now, I can't really reveal the confidential details about sponsorships, but I will say my YouTube income does not replace the paychecks from my day job. And just like any other freelancing or self-employed jobs, there's always an element of instability with how much YouTube or social media can generate. So I prefer to see this as a bonus rather than a livelihood. I think having some kind of leeway or leverage is important because it allows me to create the content that I want to create. I feel really grateful to always have a project on my hands for me to stay creative and busy. Honestly, I'm yet to have a moment where I sit around wondering what to do with myself. So I would say being on YouTube has made the transition less scary because I never wanted to transition from a very busy healthcare worker to someone who has all the time in the world but doesn't know what to do with it. One of my main priorities during my break is to take better care of my body. I now have more flexibility with my time, so I'm putting in a lot more effort in eating well, keeping myself hydrated, doing yoga, and having good quality rest. I've also been taking Synbiotic this year, and I want to say thank you to Retourne for sponsoring this video. Retourne offers a wide range of multivitamins to cater to every needs, including prenatal, postnatal, kids, teens, and more. Their products contain high-quality nutrients from D3 to omega-3. The capsule is designed to allow a slow release, so if you have a very busy schedule like mine not too long ago, you'll be glad to know all Retourne vitamins are very gentle on an empty stomach. For years, I had been skipping my lunches and rushing my meals, so this year I decided to really care for my digestive system. The symbiotics have been proven to protect the bowel linings and support the growth of beneficial bacteria. I've certainly been feeling less bloated since taking the symbiotics. I should also add that all Retourne products are vegan-friendly, gluten-free, and there's no added sugar. If you're also looking to work on your wellness this year, Retourne is offering my viewers 30% off for the first month, and you'll find the code down below. I talk a lot about the value of owning my time here on my channel, but I never really went into the details, so let's do that right now. Because the profession works on an appointment booking basis, my diary was usually booked 3 to 4 weeks in advance. That means I had to allow a 4-week notice when I wanted any days off. So I couldn't really commit to any events unless if I had plenty of time to do the arrangement. In fact, sometimes even if I felt a bit under the weather, I still dragged myself to work because I felt guilty about having to cancel or reschedule 10 to 15 patients. So I see this break as an opportunity to be more available for the people and the events that I really care about without having to let anyone down. In 2023, I'm also going to devour more time to work on my illustrations. Ever since taking on drawing, I've been so much happier. I'm always in the flow when I'm working on my art, and that's just the best feeling ever. I do have an art Instagram account if you want to check it out. It's really just to share my progress, but I do hope my work will put a smile on your face. I recently got myself a Kindle. Every morning I sit down with my morning coffee and just fully immerse myself in a book. Reading for me is a way to stay inspired and to nourish my mind. I also spend a lot of time journaling. I find it really soothing to be able to pour my thoughts out on paper. And these are all the things I already enjoyed immensely when I was still working my day job. But now I'm just doing more of what I love. And that's why I always talk about finding your passions or hobbies. I used to be a workaholic. At some point, it kind of became my identity. Now, I think it's great that we can get stability or fulfillment from our jobs, but it shouldn't be the only thing that defines us. For example, years ago, I worked really hard on the weekdays, and I just couldn't wait for the weekends to arrive. When the weekend finally came, however, I had no idea what to do with myself. Sometimes I felt a bit like a robot, like my only purpose was to work and make money. So I really believe in putting in the effort to create a life that you know you will look forward to, even when life is crazily busy, because the whole point of being financially independent is to do what you enjoy, not to do nothing. As you can see, I recently had a cosmetic surgery done, which I'm still very much recovering from. It's something that I always wanted to do, so I made sure to schedule it into this break. That way I can be in my own space during the healing process. So for me, having the option to have a break isn't about drinking champagne all day on my sofa. It's more about having the freedom to do what I love, to let my body and my mind have the rest they need, and to explore possibilities. I'm not going to lie, things are not always rainbow and sunshine. The truth is, I sometimes feel guilty for not working myself to the ground. After years of hustling, I think I got used to the idea of sticking to a very tight schedule and just being exhausted. Even though I had planned for this for a while, I sometimes do question myself if I'm doing the right thing. You see, I spent years training and refining my skills to get to where I am. So it feels wrong for not putting my qualifications to use and being out there to make a difference. I know I'm speaking from a place of privilege, but I wanted to mention this to keep it real because I myself did not expect to experience this kind of inner conflict. At the moment, I'm staying on the register because I want to keep all my options open. So if I do decide to go back to the profession one day, I might be a bit rusty, but at least the door is still open. Again, just like my any other videos, I'm only sharing my story here. I don't want to give anyone the idea that you can just walk away and quit your job. It took me years of planning and reflections to have the courage to do this. I'm generally a lot happier and so much calmer, but occasionally I do have a sense of insecurity. As always, thank you for being here and for walking this journey with me. Take care and I'll see you soon.